So you already know that you should be publishing content on a fairly regular basis. You don't necessarily have to have an email newsletter, but you should be sharing your ideas, your tips, your insights on LinkedIn, for example. The question is, what do I say? What do I talk about? What do I write about? Hasn't everything already been said before? And the short answer is no, it hasn't, because you have your own unique angle, your own unique spin to every idea that might be out there. And that's all you really need to focus on. You're not trying to bring revolutionary ideas to the marketplace. What you're trying to do is share insights and ideas with your own insights, your own thoughts, your own angle to them. So once you learn to accept that, the next question is, how do I come up with these ideas? I can't think of anything to write. What do I do? That's really what's stopping me. And you should know that's really the most common thing that slows writers and copywriters down. We can do this so well for our clients. For some reason, we can't do it for ourselves. What's wrong with that? Well, it's a little bit harder when you're writing your own stuff. So the first thing I would urge you to do is just to keep a notebook or an Evernote note or a Google Doc with ideas as you think of them. That way you have a central repository of these ideas. And when it comes time to write a post, write an article, write a blog post, you have what you need. The idea is to be able to look up that document, quickly look to see which idea resonates with you the most at that moment. Pick that one, don't overthink it, and start writing. So let me give you some prompts of things to be on the lookout for, things that you could use as great ideas for some of these posts. First, what kind of questions are many clients asking of you? Think back over the past few months, clients and prospects, what questions come up either before they turn into a client or while you're working with them? When you start a project, when you're working through the project, what questions tend to come up? Another idea, what things do prospects and clients seem to be confused about on a fairly regular basis? Maybe not all the time, but maybe a point of confusion for a lot of marketers in your particular market. What misconceptions do people in your target market seem to have about content marketing, about copywriting, whatever your specific craft or your area of focus might be? What things are you finding yourself having to address on a fairly regular basis and might be worth writing a brief post about? Another idea is to be on the lookout in your personal life for situations that might have an application to what you do as a writer, copywriter, or marketing strategist. It could be the simplest thing, from going to an ice cream store, to a documentary you watch, to an interaction you had with a neighbor. Be on the lookout for specific examples that can illustrate an important concept that would be valuable to your prospects and clients. In fact, regarding the previous idea, I can't watch a documentary or a movie these days without constantly thinking or picking up on little nuggets that I catch that could be useful to my own audience, to you guys. So the more you do this, the more used you will get to the idea of looking for these opportunities, these little insights and nuggets that can provide a great illustration for a key concept or idea. Another strategy is what's often called newsjacking. And this is really about paying attention to what's happening in the news, or maybe more specifically in your industry or in your area of specialty, that you can then kind of hijack and bring to the surface with your own ideas, insights, with your own take on the issues. Obviously, you want to stay away from really controversial topics such as politics and religion, but there are opportunities 2, 3, 4 times a year where something is big enough that you can go ahead and pick up on that. And because everyone is thinking about it, it's fairly top of mind in your circles, in your industry, you can go ahead and talk about it. It will get more attention, and this gives you an opportunity to catch some eyeballs and then provide your own insights or thoughts on the issue. Along those lines, look for ideas in articles you read, whether it's industry or business in general. Pick up on little things and go ahead and highlight and add them to your notebook, your database of ideas. And again, bring your own thoughts or reframing to that conversation. Share a tip or idea from a project you're currently working on with a client, or something you just wrapped up, something you learned, something you and the client learn, something that might be useful to others. Along those same lines, talk about a project that you might be working on right now with a client and just kind of highlight the success or how you went about it. Maybe you did something a little different. Maybe you took a creative approach to the challenge, and that could be interesting. That could be valuable to others who might find themselves in a similar situation. Finally, share an idea or a technique from your professional background, especially if it's from something outside of what you're doing right now. Let's say you used to be a screenwriter, or let's say you used to be a journalist in a specific area or industry. Bring some ideas or stories or lessons learned from the past and talk about how they apply and how those principles apply to many situations your clients and prospects find themselves in. So as you can see, there are lots of ideas, lots of different prompts. Keep these in mind, and above all, keep that central repository of ideas. That way, when it comes time to write a post, write an article, you can quickly reference those ideas and have a bunch of them at your fingertips.